weather feels like it's heating up today and the summer is almost over. Time flies. And what did I read today? I was reading this one at first. I was wondering, what is this about? Is this a way of people saying keep drones away from animals and all that? It's kind of, I guess, sensationalized in some ways anyways with the headline. It says, Bowen Yang almost died in Iceland after a drone spooked his horse while he was shooting Nora from Queens. This is supposed to be in a controlled environment too, because it says wild horses couldn't drag McJagger away, but one very nearly killed Bowen Yang. The Saturday Night Live star recalled having a near-death experience while riding horseback on the set of Aquafina is Nora from Queens in Iceland. Actually, not fun to be on a horse, Yang said on a recent episode of his Las Culturistas podcast. I've ridden a horse for camera. Guess what? This crew, and I love this crew, but this crew decided to have a drone, and of course the horse don't know what the F that is, and then I almost died. Yang explained that his horse was uncomfortable with the drone being so close to them, even hundreds of yards away, these horses can clock. They were spooked, and then I almost fell off, he said. I almost got bucked, and there was a part of me though that was like, this is a good way to go. Sounds kind of overdramatic in some ways, isn't it? Like most animals or even people in general, I would say, you have to get them used to or accustomed to whatever it may be. I mean, look at all the phobias that even some people have. I mean, what usually happens, for example, when you go up to a child and they think something is so scary and you know it's harmless, some people just laugh at it, right? It'll be no difference in this case, in my opinion. You have to actually get the animal accustomed to whatever it is, like the drone or whatever. It's a little bit odd for them to expect the animal to immediately know what it is without introducing it in any way or whatever. I mean, to me, it's just basic common sense and logic, but I guess for some people, it'll be like, oh, no matter what, they'll always be afraid of it. I mean, just like you see for me, capturing animals and stuff, they get used to it afterwards, depending on the environment and all that. This one sounded like it was good news though, basically people using the tech in a good way to find missing people, in this case by the police. It says Delta Police utilizes innovation and technology to safely locate high-risk missing individual. So according to this, they were concerned that the person that was missing may have things like dementia, and while there were sightings, I guess they weren't able to find the guy right away, because it says here, DPD officers promptly responded to a potential sighting of the missing individual at DeGaulle Morrison Park, but were not able to locate the individual during initial efforts. However, the officers persisted and skillfully deployed a drone equipped with an infrared camera and spotlight. The initial efforts did not yield positive results. They just kept at it seems, and eventually the thermal camera picked something up saying here, following the detection of a heat signature, the DPD team used the spotlight and zoom cameras technology on the drone to precisely pinpoint the individual's location in a brush area, approximately 100 meters south of the 4300 block of 57th Street. Thanks to the seamless integration of advanced technology and exemplary teamwork of the DPD officers, the missing individual was safely located and taken to hospital for appropriate medical care. Without this technology, locating the individual in the dark would have been a challenging task. So good use of the tech. It just makes you think too. A lot of average individuals could pretty much do the same thing. Obviously, they're not gonna have the expense to buy super high-end drones like these with thermal cameras and all that, but imagine just people using it, I guess, casually in a quote safe way where you could find missing people. I mean, they do it already with things like cars. Do you have a dash cam and so forth? And this was such a crazy story. I saw this at first wondering what is this about, because it says here in this post, the Ministry of Youth and Sport should step down. It's disheartening to witness such an incompetent government. How could they select an untrained girl to represent Somalia in running? It's truly shocking and reflects poorly on our country internationally. So apparently what happened, I guess there's this running competition, something along the lines of, for example, let's just say Olympics and so forth. And I guess to represent Somalia, they sent in a relative or a family member of an official, and it was so embarrassing by the looks of it. Every other athlete basically just blew by the person. It didn't even seem like they cared much in the end. What are you thinking, correct? Apparently some people were suspended because of it. So I was reading this article. It says Somalia suspends athletics boss over nepotism after dismal 100-meter performance, slowest ever. The chairwoman of the Somali Athletics Federation has been suspended for nepotism after a sprinter went viral for a sluggish performance in an international competition. Nasra Abukar Ali, 20, took 21.81 seconds to finish the 100-meter race, almost double the time it took the race winner at the World University Games in China on Tuesday. An investigation by the Somali Ministry of Youth and Sports has since declared that Ali is not a sports person nor a runner. And the story gets worse too, as it sounds like they made up documents to, I guess, admit her to this competition, because it says a sports body known as the Somali University Sports Association was also found to not exist, suggesting documents have been falsified to allow Ali to compete in the Chengdu. That is crazy, huh? I don't know what they were thinking in terms of allowing this. You'd really think no one will notice, especially in this case? Wow, I don't know. Is that nepotism, for example? Were they trying to actually help the person or embarrass them? What would you say? I wouldn't want to do something like that, even if you told me, what, you want me to compete against all these athletes? It's got to be somebody who's actually trained here that you can send. I mean, just an example too. They talk about things like nepotism. I mean, it happens a lot. It's not necessarily the best people who often get the opportunities. It's who you know within the circle and stuff, huh? This is just a crazy example of it. All right, see you guys later.